All right, are we live? I hope we're live. Mic check, mic check. All right, type in the chat. If anybody is watching, I have no idea, but if you are, let me know if you can hear me. I'm about to start talking anyway. Also, somebody told me that I was a little quiet on the last video, um, so feel free to turn it up. I'll make a better effort to talk into the mic. If you hear I don't know, like a hum in the background, that's totally my laptop. Because I should not be live streaming right now. Uh, Once I get like a monitor and some other equipment, you probably won't hear that. But for right now, this is just where we're at. So first, let's look at the daily. Haven't really looked at Bitcoin in full since the weekend. Definitely haven't made a video since about Friday, or I guess Thursday. But we got this bull volume, or this bull candle, excuse me, going on right here. That is significant. Like, we finished close to the high of the candle. That's incredible. That's a great follow through on behalf of the bulls. They totally forced this higher low, which I'll keep it 100. I was very doubtful they would be able to do this, but they did force that higher low. And so now you have this structure. I am not calling this an inverse head and shoulders because I like money, and people who don't like money call it that. It's just simply a swing low or a pivot low, whatever adjective plus low you want to use. It's a low with two higher lows on each side. That's how I'm looking at it. That's why I'm calling it swing low in market structure. Low, higher lows on each side. Cool. That is the structure I'm looking at with some type of neckline-ish area. I'm not getting very detailed with the wicks or anything, but just understanding confirmation is somewhere above here, right? Let's go ahead and actually get rid of some of the indicators just because we'll talk about those in a little bit. Let's just focus on volume and price right now. Most important things. We're looking at BitMEX. Volume may look different on different exchanges. I don't care. I'm using BitMEX. Good buy volume. Very good. Higher than a lot of the previous volume. Well, not a lot. It's higher than the previous volume for the past. Totally wrong indicator. We're looking at about 23, 20 to 23 days, right? So this is solid volume. This is a meaningful response by bulls in the market. This is something to take seriously. It's not like any of these bullish candles over here where we were like, this is like, oh shit, you have my attention. If we look into the 4 hour, let me tell you, this fucking ridiculous. This is why I tweeted out, like, what the fuck is Bitcoin doing? Because look at this shit. This is unreasonable. This shit, it was basically, it's going parabolic again, you know? You just have this large, just growth curve right here. This is ridiculous. Come on. Oh my God. And the thing is, I can't even be mad because actually, I'm pretty sure I looked earlier today. I think this is the most buy volume ever on the BitMEX exchange for a 4 hour candle, right? So we marked, about that top right there. And if I look back, I don't think I see any green candles that reach up there. It's kind of taking a long time. We're back in May. Taking a long time to update. But, you can look at it yourself. It's ridiculous. So that's something that you just don't scoff at. You know, you look at that and go like, oh shit, somebody's doing a lot of buying here. There's some bulls in the market. That is a substantial green candle, yes. But what's more important is it is validated by volume. This is important. But at the same time, um, there's no way that's sustainable. I don't care what you say to me. That nobody no, come on. So what we're looking at is if we really believe in the bulls right here, we're gonna look at where are the order blocks, where are the retracements. Something that I looked at earlier today, that I did like was I looked over here. Oh shit. I looked over here. I saw the first time we entered this range, right? You got this candle. This could work totally. Uh, Maybe you just want to use, what's it called? Just the close, open and close. You know, pumped up here, came down, traded in, pumped, came around, dumped. You see almost, two perfect wicks right here. Great short opportunities. Dumped, pumped, met a little resistance, pumped through it, found support multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Came up, dumped through it, retest as resistance, dumped again, tested resistance, dumped again, fiddled around here, pumped. And so, I mean, we're looking somewhere in this area, right? We're looking to go long if we, like I said, if we believe in the bulls, somewhere right here. And if we fib that out, let's see. Y'all know I'm more partial to the 50% fib. So definitely, I mean, I would be looking to go long somewhere right here. Yeah, you could put a reasonably tight stop there. The question is, with this momentum, this much momentum, will we really take back 50% of the move? Perhaps. I don't know. That's why you may want to ladder or layer your orders here. 38.2 fib. May will only take back about 38% of the move. That's still a decent stop. Put an order here, or just layer them here so that your average is right here. Yeah, I mean, this is generally how you should look at it. Another good candle I saw within this structure was kind of these two candles. Mark those out and put that in like purple or something. I like those. Again, 50% retracement and 38.2 fib retracement, because 50 is not a fib number, or fib ratio. Just square within this purple zone. So I mean, this is the high probability, low risk area to go long. If that is the play that you want to choose. If you are bearish, and I mean, I just really want to point out just how this volume is spectacular. That's, like I said, I was full on bearish. And this is the type of thing that's like, okay, the market's trying to prove me wrong, and I'm very much listening. That is respectable volume. That's a good way to put it. Definitely commands respect. Bear scenarios. I feel like I do this every live stream. Hold on, I gotta plug in my laptop. All right, we're back. You would think I would just plug in my fucking laptop all the time. Bearish scenarios, we're gonna keep this bullish zone just because, I mean, this is a great order blocks, great places to go long, or really just to mark out areas of market structure. Something I did find interesting right here is if you take the volume profile of when we entered this zone. What am I looking at? Not this big ass candle, but from here all the way to the present. The point of control is right where price is. This is, again, if you're bearish, this is high probability, low risk short. Just because this is the area of highest traded volume since we entered this area, since we entered this zone. And you could reasonably put a stop anywhere above these highs right here and still be within a solid 3% stop. You know, and this is one of those things where it's like breaking the point of control is significant. So if you get stopped out, then you know you were wrong. You can be comfortable with that type of wrong call because it's like, okay, the market definitely wanted to push. Now you have to ask yourself, will the market really push when you have something going on that looks like this? Declining volume, but price is still trailing up. I mean, you would expect a retracement of some sort. It could be a shallow one, but you expect price to dump a little bit, right? Some of this move should be taken back before any continuation, if there is continuation. Because at the end of the day, I do want to point out, I'd be remiss if I told you to not pay attention to the fact that we are going down, right? The overall trend is still down, but now we're going sideways. Now, I actually show you what I looked at when I realized we were going sideways. When we didn't break this low, I knew for a fact, okay, we're probably going to range a little bit. But yeah, so I mean, the bullish scenario is you try and go long on a retracement somewhere in these order blocks. I mean, you don't sue me if you don't want to call them order blocks. I don't give a fuck. Just support, resistance levels, areas of market structure, whatever, somewhere in this range. The bearish scenario would be to short right now. Log on to Bitfinex, BitMEX, whatever, Coinbase, I don't care. Sell. That would be the bearish scenario. And this isn't financial advice. Your money's not my money. I don't give a fuck what you do. I'm just telling you like how you could look at the chart. And if you disagree with me, then that's great. Because then you can like counter trade what I'm saying. And then you can make money. Cool. If you agree with me, you know, then you'll pay attention and maybe you'll make money that way. Like I said, I don't care. But yeah, that's what we're looking at with Bitcoin. A couple things I did want to look at. I'll keep this up just so you can see the point of control for now. I want to look at the stochastic RSI and the normal RSI. Both in log space. Give them a little time to come up. So look at this on the 4 hour. Fucking ridiculous. Look at the 4 hour stochastic RSI. It's in heaven right now. It's reaching for God. Like this is, oh my, and it just keeps going up. Actually, when you zoom in, it's forming this type of structure with a flat top. And the reason it's forming a flat top is because look at the numbers over here. The fast right now is crossing bearish. It's at 98.3. The slow stochastic RSI is at 99.4. There were times today when I was looking at it and they were literally right here. It's literally at 100. That's why you have these flat tops, because mathematically it can literally not be calculated any higher. Some people will call this oversold, and I mean, if you want to, I don't care. You assign your own definitions to words. I wouldn't necessarily say this is oversold because this is just looking at price. It's not looking at volume. So price could literally be doing the same thing on lesser volume and your stochastic RSI would still look like this. But I do think this is a bearish like setup. Like this, even though this is only looking at price, you have to be like, all right, come on. Like it has to come down eventually. People use this in their mathematical calculations for a reason. And it's literally touching the sky right now. It's ridiculous. And then, I mean, the RSI is not too different. It can be calculated all the way up to 100, but I'm using the log RSI, as you can see, one of FS Cripps scripts on TradingView. But I mean, look at this. Just How often does that happen? Like, look how high it is on the 4 hour. Jesus Christ. It's just reaching for the sky. And the reason the 4 hour is important is because, I mean, it's a time frame that many traders look at. I mean, you want to be looking at what everybody else is looking at, because that's where people are basing their buys and sells off of. You can, I mean, feel free to look at a more obscure time frame if you want. I know I do, but at the same time, I also want to keep up with what everybody else is looking at, because I mean, that's who I'm in the market with. That's who I'm trying to beat. So let me see what they're looking at. And I mean, this also fucking parabolic. I mean, it's you know, yeah, you can say I'm curve fitting this, but at the end of the day, you have to acknowledge this is a little unreasonable. Like, we have to be honest with ourselves here. Wait, what's going on? It's literally bending backwards. Like, okay. But yeah, just wanted to point that out. Stochastic RSI on the 4 hour, fucking ridiculous. If we're looking at the 1 day, so we got going on again, point of control. Just want to keep pointing that out. Stochastic RSI, is approaching this 80 mark, which can serve as a resistance type of scenario, which we've kind of seen here, where we were reaching for it, and then kind of came down on a retracement. You can see last time this happened, there was a large down candle. But yeah, so we're going to look for the crossing of this 80 and see if it stalls out. And if so, then we'll be kind of looking at this as a frame of reference. RSI on the daily actually is just lingering around 50. What this tells me is just an indecisive market for the most part. There's no clear trend, right? If you're strictly looking at RSI, that's what that means. We're just hovering, oscillating around 50. I mean, it is an oscillator. We were bearish this whole wave down. So if you're looking from the time that we kind of came down here, we've pretty much been below the midpoint in bear mode. We gasped for air and came up here when we reached like this point of control, which I don't think we'll get above this again. But I mean, shit, the market's trying to prove me wrong on that one. And now we're kind of in the same position. So it's kind of like our bulls going to double top right here. In which case they'll give, basically it's like basketball where you get the ball for possession, you try and score, and then the other team gets the ball, whether you score or not. It's like going back and forth. And that's pretty much what this is. Like, the ball is in the Bulls' court right now, and they're pushing up. If they kind of stall right here, then the ball's in the Bears' court, and it's like, okay, will you be able to push down these lows? That's kind of what I'm looking at. Saw something on TradingView. I've seen this in a couple charts. It was a very similar structure to when we came down and did this, and we formed like this flag, right? And then of course we kind of fell down. Very simple, easy bear flag. Now people are kind of doing this, and I don't want to say people like they're wrong. This is it's totally valid to me. One of these scenarios. What time is it? Yeah. One of these scenarios where, okay, now we're in another bear flag in which we have some impressive resistance here. Using this candle before the down move, and you see we've traded up in this zone multiple times, have been unable to close. And if you just put red lines around the open and close of the candle, you see this is prime time short area, just been great. And so now it's like we're up here again. I'm sure we wake up here at some point. I'm not saying we have to, but if we don't push up a little higher, bulls run the risk of double topping with a lower high, which is a bearish market structure, especially when momentum is totally with the bull or bears right now. And we're actually starting to form a little hidden bullish divergence. You're closing with a lower high in the oscillator. RSI is closing with a higher high. Sometimes I like to look at confluence of oscillators. I would like multiple oscillators to tell me there's a div to really believe it, not just one. So I mean, RSI has one, and the B band %B has one. They're both very marginal, so I'm not like looking at these as if these are the end all be all, but I'm paying attention. Someone's gonna have to watch the replay. Yeah. When all the live streams are over with, YouTube takes and uploads them, so you should be able to see the video later. But yeah, we do have some type of hidden bearish divergence. These in hard trending markets, these can be a dime a dozen. So again, like I'm not betting the bank on a hidden divergence, especially in something as volatile as crypto. But I would point it out at an area of market structure like this resistance, because it may show some hidden weakness in the trend. But I mean, at the end of the day, volume is way more important than just these price oscillators. But I do want to point this out to you so you all can mark this out, because yes, it looks like a bearish flag, but what's important is this horizontal resistance and confluence with this bearish flag. And then if we flip this resistance into support and pull, one of these, boop, then we come down, make that red, get rid of these. So we break it, come down, and then come back up like this in a bullish market structure. I mean, we may have something to talk about then. Then we're looking at right here. Actually, I'm surprised I drew it right there. Then we're looking at about 7.9K. We're looking at this area right here. Really, if you want to take this resistance over this support, we're looking at this zone between 7.4 and 8K. Boom. No, come on, TradingView, follow with me. Yeah, so we're looking at here. We can manage to flip this, then pretty much the 100%, not even say that, the 99% high risk probability play, if we break this resistance, is to go long here, literally layer your bids all throughout this block, or layer them some point here and then put a stop underneath, and then play the long up here. That's like almost the guaranteed play. But at the end of the day, like I said, you have to pay attention to the trend. You have to understand we're clearly going down overall. You have to understand that this looks bearish. The volume actually doesn't necessarily support a bear flag. I mean, we were just trending so hard, and I'd have to look at more than BitMEX's volume, because I mean, we were going down, and then this kind of volume came up and deviated from that downward trend. Sometimes different time frames will show you volume a little differently. I mean, yeah, within the scope of just how hard we were selling off, you could call this a valid bear flag even with volume. That's why, like, you're always going to hear me say technical analysis is just like telling a story. It's a narrative. You pick whichever narrative you want to believe, whichever one makes more sense, depending on market structure. I mean, this kind of looks like a bearish flag where we're we're kind of having decreased volume as we go up. Makes sense. Um, Resistance. If you fib this out, so if you fib this out, boom, boom. Uh, and then I never use this, but I'll show it for this purpose. The 23.6, which is a fib ratio, it's on there for a reason. Where we kind of reach for it a little bit. You see, we've rejected it multiple times. It's in confluence with this bearish block. And to be honest, I'm not going to say we should discount it just because this move is so large. If you wanted to draw the fib from like here or here or something, I'm sure you could find another fib that would fit it better than the 23.6. So I'm not going to discount it. It's just the time frame we chose. I don't really have any predictions. I mean, Bulls got me shook. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they came with some good volume. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like this isn't this isn't the point of control. Where am I at? And even if it's not, I mean, on the 4 hour, it was the previous point of control. Oh man, come on, Trey, you don't do this to me. Got work to do. There we go. Right after that sell-off. Why are you not showing up? Yeah, so I'm not gonna act like this isn't a large area of traded volume. And I'm sure you could play with this if you wanted to move that back. You could, probably. Well, actually, no. I mean, shit. This is this is the point of control. Even if you move it back. So, I mean, it's just an area of a lot of volume. A lot of traded volume is going to act as a resistance. If you don't know what the point of control is, it's an area. All this is volume. Traded orders by the level of price. High volume nodes typically serve as support and resistance. The highest volume node for a given range is called the point of control. Acts as a magnet, but also acts as heavy support and resistance. So that's what that looks like. In addition to the volume kind of fading off as we continue to trail up. That's kind of what we're looking at. Again, don't really have any predictions. I would remain bearish. I guess the only other thing I want to point out is short-term and long-term kind of like trends. So looking at the guppy, something I don't like about the guppy, you gotta too many values. Flip bullish. The short EMAs flip bullish. The longer EMAs are flipping bullish. They're compressing right now. They're probably gonna expand after a retracement down here to this level. Again, another great reason. I'm just gonna roughly mark this out. Not as exact as when we first drew at the beginning, but they're probably going to expand after a retracement down to this level, followed by a follow through up to break highs if you're bullish. Daily time frame, I mean, at the end of the day, we're bearish. Looking at the guppy, yeah, live stream is really slowing me down. Yeah. So the daily time frame, again, bearish. The short EMA is flipped bearish again. You can see they're blue here, and then we kind of retrace up into the long or the long term slower EMAs. This is a heavy resistance zone, as we've seen. We got fucked right here and, pushed down. So we'll see kind of what happens right here in this area. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. That pretty much about covers it. Um, yeah. So I'll see you all later, man. Y'all take care.